Hello, hello, hello. Antphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to you again with another true crime reading. This time it's on the case of Emmanuel Haro. He's a 7-month-old baby who has been missing for, I believe, a week now. So the mother claims that she was in a parking lot. Someone said "hola" and then punched her. She had a black eye, and when she was left unconscious. The baby was missing when she woke up. That is what the story is. That is what she alleges. A lot of people are saying they believe it is foul play involved, and some people are pointing the fingers at the parents. I'm going to try and see what I see. Now, my intention here is to help. I want to maybe hopefully figure out what happened, if we can find the baby, and hopefully restore peace and order. So, I'm just going to dive right in. Remember, these readings all ledger for tapers only, and let's get started. So interesting enough, this was not on my feeds. You guys replied to one of my social media posts and told me about this. So the baby, what happened? That's a death card in the what happened position. Who did it? Clarification on who did it. Regrets. Foolish. Young energy. Naive energy. Something happened. Why am I getting John Benet Ramsey vibes? Okay. Whoa, I'm like downloading a lot of information. Let me see if I can fix this lighting because it's bothering me. Whatever, I'm just going to go with it. So the judgment card is reversed, which is like an embarrassment. So there's a feeling of overwhelmness or like embarrassment or a fear of judgment for something that happened or in general for the child. So there's an overwhelming feeling around the child, like all ledger for tapers only. There's this feeling of like, I don't want to be judged. I'm embarrassed. Something happened to this baby. The death card is about what happened. Now, granted, yes, the death card can be literal. Sometimes it's not. It's sometimes difficult, to decipher. So I don't want to cause any panic or fear. I'm not able to definitively say one way or the other. Okay, I can't definitively say one way or the other. Right? There's no proof yet, so it is what it is. However, I will tell you, death, even if it's not literal, would be a transformation. Something happened to this baby before he went missing. Something had to have happened to the baby before he went missing. Something detrimental. When we look at the strength card, which is vulnerabilities, which means when someone isn't looking or when someone isn't aware, something happens, right? Sometimes strength card can be physical strength utilized against someone, right? It's difficult to tell. But the Fool is about out of nowhere, spontaneously, or even young energy. The Ace of Swords is about regrets, and the Nine of Wands is walking on eggshells. That's fear, regrets, and having a blind eye. Something happened to this baby. I don't know. Just allegedly, from my opinion, you want my intuitive opinion on what I see and what I feel. Something had to have happened to this baby before I even went missing. Because I see the baby being vulnerable. I see something happening. I can't tell if it was an accident or if it was an accident that... How do I word that? Ooh! I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything. But I will say this. There had to have been... something happened. There's an accident. Something had to have happened. There's an accident. I don't know if one of the other kids, because I believe they have more than one child, right? I think I read that, right? Hopefully I'm right. Or another kid or something maybe did something. Maybe. That's possible, especially with the Fool. However, sometimes the Fool will translate to when my back is turned, the wool over your eyes, foolish, someone who's naive. And the strength card could be physical strength. And then we look at the Nine of Wands reversed and the Ace of Swords, which is about regret. So there could be something to do with like maybe something happened to the baby, whether it was, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that this was an accident, but perhaps there was something physically that happened to the baby, or maybe the baby wasn't being catered to. Maybe there was an issue with the baby, an issue with something going on, to where somebody was overwhelmed and frustrated, because the Strength card could be like an anger issue as well. So especially with the Knight of Wands, you walk on eggshells around people who have Strength card next to them. That's like an anger, walking on eggshells, scared to have someone have explosive energy, right? So for me, when I look at stuff like that, it feels like perhaps there wasn't an initial, I don't want to accuse anyone, so I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here. Trying my best to be diplomatic. It's hard. But perhaps somebody wasn't like trying to do something or cause harm, but maybe it happened. So perhaps that's the way I would describe the quote unquote accident, or incident. It seems like something, I just genuinely feel like something happened to that baby that wasn't supposed to. And it seems like it was some sort of physical activity, whether it was like, an accident or not, I don't know, but that's what I'm feeling. That's just what I feel. Sorry. That's what I feel. Okay. Oh my God, there's the King of Swords. The King of Swords wants to release a burden and is emotionally detached. The King of Swords has quite the mouth on them and is very persuasive to certain people. Look, I never want to be the person to point the finger at anybody, especially a parent who's lost a child. So I'm not going to say definitively what's going on or pointing a finger or trying to judge anyone. I try to have respect, and I know it's a tough time regardless. But I will tell you this. There's someone here, it's masculine energy. There's someone here who's posing as a good person who isn't. The Two of Cups is reversed, which says that they have issues with everyone. Like, this is someone who struggles to connect to people. You could perceive that perhaps maybe as like narcissistic tendencies or something of that nature, but they're very detached emotionally. And this person is very selfish, puts themselves first before everything. The Six of Pentacles says that they like things, not necessarily people as much as they like things. And the Six of Pentacles is about accountability. So for me, whatever happened, there is going to be accountability for that. I do think justice is going to be delivered no matter what happened here, because it does look like they are going to figure this case out. Four of Pentacles is a greedy, selfish card. I want this and I want it for myself, and I want this and nothing else, excuse me. And the Four of Cups is another detachment card, and the High Priestess is about faith. So sometimes it could be someone hiding behind faith, but it's also about healing and trust, and that's manipulating that trust, because the Four of Pentacles is like, I'm utilizing something for myself, so I'm manipulating trust. I have no interest in this, but I'm detached from it. There has to be somebody around the family or adjacent to the family that is not who they say they are. So it's either one of the family members, adjacent to the family members, or around the family members. This does not feel like a random act. This does not feel like... this also doesn't feel like something that happened in a parking lot. So I don't know if I necessarily believe the mom's story. I mean, obviously give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she is telling the truth, but whatever I'm seeing is something that happened to that kid before anything could have happened. Because we look at the Two of Swords reversed and the Nine of Cups with the Knight of Wands. All of these cards point to, you're not doing what I want you to do. You're in the way. I can't get what I want. You're not listening. It's almost like if you treated a 7-month-old as a 5-year-old, or even a 10-year-old, or even a 16-year-old, but it's like a baby. There's a disconnect between how a baby should be handled versus how it was handled. Almost as if it was like, almost as if someone was assuming like the baby should have been able to do, I don't know, it's weird. It's like if they took stuff out on the baby, or if they like projected the baby to be older. I've never really seen anything like this or felt anything like this, so forgive me if I'm not describing it correctly. This is new for me. True crime is always difficult because every case is unique and different, and I'm always experiencing new things and learning new things. These are my most difficult readings. because everything is so new to me and I like the challenge of that. But I also don't want people to just randomly point fingers and accuse. I'm trying to gain information that can maybe help, but I obviously can't point a finger, because what am I going to do? Say that I think it's this person and then everyone attacks and then, we don't have any proof. It's like, it doesn't work that way, right? So I'm trying to help as best as I know I can, while still being able to be neutral and try not to be too accusatory. So do with that what you will, but I've never felt a child this young being set up to fail like this. It's like it's being treated like as if he's older. What's also interesting? So every time I try to say he, I say it, which makes me feel like he's dehumanized. That I feel like is a clue. That I feel like is a download, as if someone was like pushing the baby into being like not. See all these attachment cards, these emotionally detached cards? It's like they're not even invested. It's like the baby was an object more than a person. There's this disconnect with this person. This person is not connected to this child emotionally. It's a wall, and it's a King of Swords. So it's a masculine energy. Magician's upright, Queen of Cups is reversed, and Tower. I think the mom might say something crazy soon, because the Tower card is about everything falling apart around them. The mom might give information about something soon, or might let something slip. I think the mom might crack about more information. She knows more information. She's just, I don't know if she's afraid to say it or she doesn't want to or whatever. Perhaps the fear of judgment is also getting to her, and that's why Judgment's reversed as well. Afraid that she'll be blamed or focused on. But there's more information that she has. Temperance card and the Sun is interesting too, because that's gossip. And the Page of Swords is reversed, so that to me is about other people being afraid as well, not just the mom. It seems like, see the Ten of Cups. More people in the family have been afraid of someone's temper. King of Wands reversed, so another masculine card, but someone's energy and temper. Queen of Swords being reversed too is interesting, because that means that other people have felt the wrath. Do we know if the mom was forced to do things for the dad or anything like that? Has there been any news about that? Queen of Swords. I don't know. I don't like this energy at all, and I'm confused because I just don't. The Chariot's reversed. That's the car. The King of Pentacles upright and the Star. That's, I don't know. That's negative attention, or I don't know. I don't know if I buy the story. If that is the story, there's pieces missing, because I don't know. It just seems like I'm a little concerned about the story. I am. It doesn't add up to me. I'm open to being wrong, but Star being reversed, that's a distraction. Chariot being reversed, that's the car reversed. I don't know. And then we have a King of Pentacles, which is about sitting on your throne. That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, because look at the Four of Swords and the Devil card here with the Five of Swords. Okay, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or accusatory. I will say, however, this does read as a stunt to me. The reason it reads as a stunt is because the Five of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Devil card here is about like issues with details. So that means like there's not a lot of details that add up in the story, right? It's missing holes, or it has holes, it's missing parts. The Four of Swords is like a rejection. So not only is that like the people not really understanding it or buying it, but the Four of Swords is like no. And then the Devil card is manipulation here too. So that's like a panic button. Think of that as like intense panic and trying to figure out how we can figure this out. Like, look at, like, that's a cover-up story to me. So whether or not the situation happened in the parking lot and it's just not exactly how it went down, or if that situation never happened at all, I still feel like there was a cover-up. The mom is covering up parts of that story. It has to, at least. Either the whole story or part of it has to, in my opinion, allegedly. Two of Wands, Three of Pentacles, and Seven of Cups. Also, there's something to do with someone's job or a coworker or something being spotted, or someone not being there, or some sort of issue with their job, or someone at one of their jobs that either saw something or heard something. Seven of Cups being, or someone said something. Two of Wands, and maybe had an issue or a fight or something, and they heard about it or vented to them about some sort of fight. I also feel like there has to have been previous issues with some sort of physical aggression. I don't know if it's documented or not, but it's there. Eight of Swords is like a victim of circumstance. The Ten of Pentacles is long term, right? And then the Knight of Pentacles is inconsistencies. So it tells me that sometimes this person is good, sometimes they're bad, quote unquote. And then the Eight of Swords is like, this is something they've done before, right? You look at that as like a victim of the circumstances. You're putting things in harm's way, right? Or putting things in the middle of the road, so to speak, while the cars are going. And then the Ten of Pentacles is there, which is like, this is a long term thing. This has happened for a while. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think that's the best I can get. And I don't want to point no fingers. Listen, I could not imagine what it would be like to lose a child as a parent, so I'm not going to point a finger directly at anybody, you know. But hopefully I do see justice being delivered, so I shouldn't say hopefully, I see it happening. There's one more twist and turn in this story, though. I hope they can find him. I'm a little worried because I do feel like something happened to him regardless. And it's hard to get past that what happened death pull here for me. So hopefully, you know, let's err on the side of optimism. And that if something did happen, perhaps there is a road to recovery. But, yeah. Let's err on the side of optimism. Okay. Yeah, this was a difficult reading. I don't know what else to say. Kind of bummed after this. It's a very depressing reading. I forgot what do I say when I close the videos? I'm like so overwhelmed. Join the YouTube members down below for additional content. I appreciate everyone who supports me. And until next time, bye. I'm telling you, something happened to that kid before the story that was told to us. I'm telling you, allegedly.